Roya Nikkhah is a royal correspondent for the Sunday Times. She's with us from London with the latest on this story. Roya, good morning. I know everybody wants to go, and we keep hearing that Harry and Meghan want this to be a shared event. So I'm curious about what that means and how it will be different from the other royal weddings that we've watched.
Well, I think two things straight away. First of all, they are having more than 2,000 people inside the grounds of Windsor Castle, members of the public, members of charities they work with, some schools from Windsor, so they can feel they can take part in it. And then straight after their marriage, we're going to see all their guests from St George's Chapel go on to the reception, but Meghan and Harry are going to get into a carriage and do a really quite long carriage procession around the streets of Windsor, and that will be another opportunity for them to share the wedding with members of the public so they can see them and feel they can celebrate in their day. And I think those kind of things are Harry and Meghan's touches to want to sort of make this a very public people's wedding.
So we know that it doesn't look like Elton John made the cut, but do we know who did?
We do know a few people who did. I was actually out in Malawi last year with people that Harry had worked with on a conservation project. He's invited them. They're travelling all the way over for the wedding. He's also invited Prince Seiso of Lesotho, who he co-founded his charity Centibale with. He's coming. Nacho Figueres, a very famous Argentinian polo player, is coming. And also, in a sort of quite poignant move, Meghan and Harry have invited survivors of the Grenfell fire tragedy. It was a big fire that happened here last June. Community members and survivors of that will be inside St George's Chapel.
Have you heard about any Americans who are coming?
I think it's fair to say, Gayle, there'll be a healthy dose from the cast of Suits among the congregation. I think we'll expect to see some of Meghan's close friends and cast members from Suits. Also, a few of her friends from California we know will be there. And then, of course, there are people like Jessica Mulroney, who's her stylist, based in Toronto, who'll be over. So I think it'll be a very international guest list.
And is there talk about honouring Princess Diana in some way?
There isn't really talk about it because I think it's pretty much assumed that it will happen. In the same way as at William and Kate's wedding, there were tributes to Diana, particularly in the evening reception and speeches. I'm almost certain that either in the order of service at St George's Chapel and probably in the receptions too, there will be tribute paid. I'm sure Harry will mention his mother. I'm sure we'll see something of her in the order of service too. There's no doubt Harry's very keen to keep Diana's memory involved in his wedding.
And not to belabor this, Roya, but do you really believe Elton John was not invited? Do you really believe that?
Gayle's upset.
Well, who knows? Maybe, the Spice Girls said they were invited. It turns out they're not. Elton John, he's done a lot of work with Harry on HIV and AIDS.
Right. When he sang, remember that song? I know.
Right.
Okay,
we shall see. Can't wait to see who's performing.
Maybe he's performing exactly that.
Exactly.
Roya Nikkhah, thanks so much for being with us this morning.